Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Today, as always, we have 4 decks for you, including the Bot Farmer that is number 1 on the Infinite leaderboard right now, and the deck I used to immediately fly to Infinite. Neither of these is this deck in particular. However, we also have 5 different bundles reviewed and expert opinions on both Marvel Boy and Kate Bishop. But before we get to this awesome deck, which hit Infinite at the number 3 ranking, what I'd like to tell you is if you go check out the Marvel Snap YouTube or the pinned comment to this video, we are the official Marvel Snap community guide for Kate Bishop and Marvel Boy. We also do a spotlight guide to every spotlight this month. If you're willing to check it out, it would mean the absolute freaking world to me if you would check out the that video, give it a like, let Marvel Snap know that you really enjoyed it, and hopefully we get to do some more of that. All right, this is Nethiel's Junk Kate. Nethiel is a top player. Again, immediately hit Infinite as number 3 on the Infinite leaderboard with this very, very cool list. Long-time viewers should know I love Bounce. This is our only Bounce list today, fair warning. Beast is my favorite card, and if it's not Beast, it's Werewolf or Hitmonkey, so we have 2 of my favorite cards, and another card is joining my favorite cards. We're going to talk more about it later, but Loki. So this list has 3 win conditions. It can Clog and win, it can Werewolf and win, and it can Loki and use your opponent's card to win. Or it can do, obviously, some combination thereof. It's very, very strong. I'm in love with this list. I think this list is a blast. We've got another similar list to this, not the same list, but a similar list this with a similar ethos that we're going to talk about tomorrow. All right, you can find Nethiel at twitch.tv/ne_thiel. So Nico for this list can be Nebula or Iceman, Cassandra can be Shang-Chi, Loki can be Sage or Absorbing Man, and this is important. Cassandra Nova is in this deck largely as arishem tech. Cool. That means if you're going to add Absorbing Man, you're largely adding Absorbing Man to copy Cassandra Nova. If you don't have Cassandra Nova, Absorbing Man's not as good. Actually, that feels like a really, really, really great question for our giveaway today. Ready? Our question for the giveaway, we're getting right to it, is, did you get Cassandra Nova, and how was the experience of doing so? Cool. That's going to be how you enter the giveaway. I'll tell you more about that giveaway in a couple of minutes. Grandmaster can be Absorb Man or Ravonna here. Ravonna only has 2 targets. If you're going to add Ravonna, add 1 more. It's not a big deal. Toss in an Iron Man or a Hobgoblin. Kate can be Jeff or Baron Mordo. Kate is really good. Spoiler alert, Kate is actually as good as advertised. We'll talk more about that later. And White Widow and Werewolf are both needed cards. All right, so this deck has a 76% win rate on its way to Infinite, 47 and 15 to rank 3. 47 and 15 is insane. Turn 1, you would like to play Hood, if possible. Turn 2, you want to play Kate, and now you have like basically a full hand. You will draw 1, but that's it. White Widow and Grandmaster are fine. Grandmastering Hood is not terrible. You're not sad to have 2 demons in this deck. Turn 3, your goal is to play Werewolf. I will, unless locations are absolutely terrible for my deck, I will almost always Werewolf instead of Loki, Werewolf before Lokiing. At that point, you can Loki on 4, or you can go Goblin, Widow, and Titania and try and clog. Turn 5, you bounce and further clog. Turn 6, you're trying to move the Werewolf to win, and you're playing demons, or cards similar to demons, to win a lane that was otherwise clogged, so you don't need as much power to win there. And that's how you play this list. It's very, this is a thinking person's list. This is not easy to play. A lot of what you do is going to be a variable. I want to take a moment to focus on turn 4. You can do part of this on turn 3, where if you Widow and Titania, basically what you want to do is you want to, assuming that you don't have priority, you want to play Titania, and then you want to play either Green Goblin or Widow, and unless they filled that location, it is now clogged and there's nothing they can do about it. There is an exception, though. Kitty Pryde makes that a really dangerous play, and then like Jeff and Nocturne make those really dangerous plays. But if you can pull it off outside of that, Acid Hour really helps for this as well. If you can pull it off outside of that, it's really, really hard for your opponent to play around. All of these cards being all over the meta, I think, are going to bring back a Nihilist, but that's a problem for tomorrow. For today, enjoy this list. It's very, very interesting and powerful. All right, so right after this next little bit, we're going to go through this next bit of housekeeping quickly, and then we're going to talk about the deck I cruised to Infinite with. All right, so Nethiel's Junk Kate, one last look at it. Again, super cool list, very powerful, worth checking out. I'm personally having a blast with it. It's got some of my favorite cards in all of Marvel Snap in it. Hey, if you're willing to hit that sub button, it would really mean the world to us. We're trying to hit 15,000 subs by the end of the year. It's a long shot goal, and I know, but we're going to need your help if we're going to do it. If you're willing to sub, it would mean a lot. In return, we offer 7 days a week of videos where we bring you the top meta decks. We are the source to get the best decks the fastest in Marvel Snap. We also do a podcast every Saturday of like 2 hours with some of Marvel Snap's top names as creators. So if any of that sounds good to you, please do check it out. If you're also willing to help, it really helps fight the algorithm if you like and comment to show that to show YouTube that this content is positive and people are enjoying it. So if you're enjoying it, please hit that sub button. It would be great. In addition, we do the biggest giveaway in Marvel Snap. We told you to leave a comment earlier in this video, right? Subbing, liking, leaving that comment, congrats. Someone in today's comments will get a Kate Bishop season pass. Every video from Monday to Friday has a season pass, and then one video a week. I'm going to tell you which, but one video a week for the rest of the month will also carry a season pass. All you have to do is watch, sub, like, and leave the specific comment, and you can get Kate Bishop for free. So hopefully that's interesting to you. But hey, also, if you have Samsung, or you can access the Samsung store. Just so you're aware, the Samsung store right now has a $1 for a $10 coupon. So if you would like to use that $1 for $10 coupon, I believe it's the Samsung. I don't actually know what the Samsung store is called, but whatever, the Samsung store. So it's a $1 for a $10 app coupon, which means you can use that for $1. You can get the season pass if you're interested. I thought people might be interested in that. So if you want to check that out, you might have to like delete the game off your device and reinstall it to use it, but it is a doable thing for those of you who are interested and able. All right. We are also running a ton of alliances. If you'd like to join an alliance, please feel free. It costs nothing. Do the stuff it says on screen. Pause it for 2 seconds and do it. I don't want to read it to everybody. But the important thing about this slide is that we have a tryout tournament this Friday evening. If you're willing to check it out, it's usually you have to be a $1 Patreon to join our tournaments. This tournament is a nice King of the Hill. It's a quick and dirty Friday night Magic style tournament, free for all. So if you're interested in hopping in, just all you have to do is join the Discord. Join the Discord and you can compete in this tournament. To the deck. All right, we have our Loki move. This is my infinite list. This is fundamentally the Sizer/Barzy move list with Loki added and Hawkeye added. What I found was that A, Hawkeye is completely incredible in this list, and B, Loki is amazing. I don't know if Loki is actually the right decision in this deck, but I had so much fun with Loki and there was so much power in Loki that won me so many games that I was never sad to have him. Loki basically saying anyone who's playing anything remotely similar, you get a better version of the deck but cheaper, is amazing. But there's a fair number of games you avoid Loki, which means that he could not be in this list. Again, I love him here. We're going to get to on the next slide what I think the right replacement for him is right now, as per Sizer, who again fundamentally created the modern version of this archetype. All right, so basically I stuck Loki and Kate in the Barzy and Sizer deck. Sizer was the #1 player in the Infinite Leaderboard last season, #2 each of the previous 2 seasons. Snap Judgment's Alliance member, by the way. So if you'd be interested to check out Sizer, being one of the greatest players in the history of Marvel Snap, check him out on Twitch. Kitty and Gwenpool are the needed cards here. Kate Bishop and Jeff can be Nightcrawler. We need Kate or Jeff, but one can be Nightcrawler. Thena or Hope can be Elsa. You need Thena or Hope. Loki is amazing here, but fine to be replaced. Copycat, Loki, and Nocturne are all replaceable. In fact, 2 probably should be replaced. You would very much like to run Juggernaut, and you would very much like to run Killmonger in this list. Juggernaut is really bad if all you're seeing is Zoo, and all I was seeing is Zoo. That's why I ended up not running Juggernaut. I saw so freaking much Zoo for so much of this, and when it wasn't Zoo, it was Surfer, and Juggernaut's not great against Surfer either. So, Killmonger, however, if you're seeing a ton of Zoo, just straight up clears that match for you, makes it extremely easy to win. Other choices, Spider-Man, Red Guardian, Polaris, and we said Juggernaut. Cool. So again, Killmonger probably belongs in this freaking list. You will not be sad to have him. He's insane. Just phenomenal card. If you're missing any of these cards, go with the Monger. All right, so I went 16-8 with this in the 90s. This was basically what I played for the whole 90s. That's a 67% win rate. But what's impressive for me is the cube rate. This deck had a 2.0 cube rate. That's insane. That's insane. A really, really great cube rate is a 0.52. I had a 2.0 cube rate. This deck worked real well. And I'm going to tell you when we get to the last slide, when we're looking at the deck, what my favorite strategies with it were. So turn 1, you kitty, and what you have for turn 3, and whether you have kitty, determine what you do on turn 2. You go Kate if you have Thena and no kitty, Angela in general, and then Thena is better than Jeff. Turn 3, Loki is fine. You're very rarely sad to just drop Loki on 3 because it draws a card. Don't go Kate, then Loki, though, because that's going to clog your hand. You're not going to get an extra draw. That's really bad if you're Loki. You can also drop a 2+1 for Athena if you played Athena on 2. And you have Kitty, then the 2+1 is fine. If you have Kate, you can immediately go Athena and one of the arrows, and that'll do. If not, Hope is fine. Nocturne is fine. Turn 4, Gwenpool is better than 3+1. Turn 5, Captain Marvel, and a 1. And then turn 6, Shang plus whatever other stuff you can. And that's how you win. Hey, one major tip for this deck is don't be greedy with Gwenpool. You almost always just want to play Gwenpool on turn 4. She's too much stats to not play. All right, next up, we're going to do our bundle guides. Then we're going to do the ultimate bot farming deck that also hit number 1. Cool? So the current number 1 list is a deck that entered the Infinite Leaderboard as number 2, then climbed to number 1 from KX4N. We're going to look at that. And then we've got another deck yet again after that. So this is one last look at this. So a couple of my favorite things, like I got multiple 8-cubers from Kate Bishop. And the thing I was doing is my opponent would make a magic and their limbo would be safe, right? I will not play my Nocturne. But if I have that grapple arrow, Nocturne plus grapple arrow first, then Nocturne will immediately pull Nocturne over and change that location. And it is like an 8-cube printing machine. People are going to have to learn to play around it. It's insanely strong. Other things you can do is if you have a powerful copycat, very often copycat is copying cards that are already in the deck. Make sure you play the version that's in the deck, but hold copycat. Especially if it's a really strong card like the Shang or something. So like if you can Shang, like at some point I Shanged, I don't know, a Cull or something, a cheaper 10, right? And then, but I had a copycat with the Shang, and that kind of thing is extremely strong. So make sure you're also careful about that. And finally, don't over-index on Hope. Hope is incredible, but you mostly want to just play one card on Hope, lest it be the last turn of the game. So don't, on turn 4, just drop 2 on Hope, because there's not really necessarily much to do with that energy that turn. Although, if you can Gwenpool and like Jeff, then suddenly it's worth it. Finally, if you're seeing a lot of Sandman, and I saw a reasonable amount of Sandman, holding Jeff really does help with this list in particular. Although if you can lose Prio and you do add Killmonger, you should add Killmonger. That matchup gets so much easier. Hey, the Collector's Bundle is in the shop for 4 days. This is $35. This is 1,500 credits, 3,500 gold, and 155 boosters. Now, what I think they're doing, the reason I think there's so many bundles, is they all have slightly different values, and they're seeing what people value with based on what they buy, with all these different options that have slightly different values in the shop. This is a very good value. This is the second best value in the shop currently. So this bundle is contrasted with the Death Ex Machina bundle, so we're going to have to look at these two together. The Death Ex Machina bundle is $30 versus $35, right? But it's only 172. That's 19% worse. That's significantly worse. The Collector's Bundle is a very good buy. The Death Ex Machina bundle is a mediocre buy. Almost every cash bundle is at least as good as Death Ex Machina. There's very little reason to buy that and not buy the Collector's Bundle. So you should be buying the Collector's Bundle. What I believe Second Inner's testing is whether people care enough about that or whether they over-index on that variant. Because if you include the variant value, then the bundle overall is more, the Death Ex Machina bundle is more worth it. I urge you, if you are still trying to complete, if you don't own all the cards, to not get the Death Ex Machina, but instead the Collector's Bundle. That would be the smart thing to do. The Skybound Swords bundle is the best bundle in the shop. 200% bundles are, to me, must buy. I immediately bought this bundle. Not only is this Valkyrie gorgeous, not only is Valkyrie one of the best cards, including the great Lauren Wadev's favorite card, This bundle is every month they have a bundle that lasts the month that's almost always really great value. This is this month's version. It's $15, 750 credits from 1500 gold for only $15. This is the best bundle in the shop. It is likely to be the best bundle in the shop for this whole month. You should probably grab this bundle if you're in the market for buying anything in Marvel Snap. There are, however, also bundles in the web shop. The bundles in the web shop are almost 10% better than anything you'll find in the shop. They're 30 to 40% better than a lot of the other stuff you would find in the shop. That's a huge amount. We have the Scourge of Wakanda bundle and the Death Do Us Part bundle. These bundles are fundamentally similar in value. The Death Do Us Part bundle has 8% more progress, and they both are the same otherwise. These are regular variants. These are not exclusive variants, so they have less general value. But 600 gold and 2100 credits is an absolute steal for $15, as is 1400 gold and 1000 credits. I personally bought the Claw one. I think that these bundles are excellent, must buy. You can only find them on the Marvel Snap web shop. And while you're there, if you just go to marvelsnap.com and hit shop, once you put in your Snap ID, once a week there's also a free roll for, like, I don't know, basically a wheel that has some prizes in it. Sometimes you're going to get boosters, but I've gotten 50 credits a couple times, and it doesn't hurt to get some extra free stuff while you're there. I urge you to pick up the Scourge of Wakanda or the Death Do Us Part bundle over anything currently in the shop. They are significantly better. I don't think it super matters which of these two you get. Death is slightly better. The extra credits is worth more than the extra gold as a general rule, but you cannot go wrong with either of these. These are top line purchases in Marvel Snap. All good? Let's keep going to KingofCanada's bot farm. This deck is stupid. All right, there was a point several months ago where someone was like, what if we just put the Iron Man Onslaught thing into a Phoenix Force since Tribunal's already there? That was great. I still have people playing that in our Snap Chosen's League tournaments. Well, KingofCanada was like, what if we put Patriot Sandman? We don't need a lot of space for that. That basically wins on going Patriot into Sandman into Ultron, right? So why don't we just go Tribunal Onslaught Iron Man? That can win a bunch of games too. Well, it turns out that's stupidly effective. I had no idea. I don't know if you did, but I genuinely did not know this. But this list is super duper strong. It's absolutely crushing right now. You're just trying to get one of two game plans. Patriot into Sandman into Ultron, and you can end up playing another card along the way. If you would like to, you can end up magicking for an extra turn, although now you have to Sandman a turn later. I don't suggest it. You can end up waving out a claw, whatever. Yeah, you can find an extra play there if you would like to. I guess if you go wave, claw, Sandman, Ultron, you're not getting out Patriot, whatever. There's options here. However, this list is just about putting up power, right? You're perfectly fine to hide what you're doing with Invisible Woman. Your opponent generally will not know. Electro doesn't matter if you're planning to Sandman, so like you can feel free to just drop an Electro without any fear if you have your whole combo, and then go straight into Iron Man, Onslaught, Ultron, and there's not much opponents can do about it unless they're running Juggernaut. You just go to town. All right, you can find KingofCanada at twitch.tv/exactly that name, and like I keep looking at this list because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Tribunal is the only Series 4 higher card here, right? So Tribunal, one Series 4 card, the number one deck, let's go. This is as cheap as you're ever going to get to compete in Marvel Snap. Give this a try. Alright, so this is, again, as of the recording of this video, the number one deck right now. Turn 1, you want to pass. Turn 2, Invisible Woman. Turn 2, Turn 2, excuse me, is Patriot behind Invisible Woman, or you can wave for Onslaught for Onslaught or Tribunal, or Electro for Iron Man. Or you can just play Magic. That's perfectly fine too. Turn 4 is the same basic thing as turn 3. If you can drop that Iron Man, feel free to drop that Iron Man. If you can drop that Onslaught or Tribunal, feel free to drop that Onslaught or Tribunal. If you waved, Claw is a perfectly fine option. If you can put that behind Invisible Woman, so much the better. Turn 5, Sandman or Iron Man. Or if you played Electro, Onslaught or Tribunal. Turn 6, if you Iron Man, Onslaught, and then Tribunal, Sandman, then Ultron. That's it. Super simple, right? Like, this is almost idiot proof. You're going to need a little practice to like know which line you're going for in what game when you sort of have half of each. But outside of that, this is like as straightforward and powerful as the thing gets. I urge you to give it a try. It might be time to start re-adding some Enchantress type stuff to your decks. Just saying. If this deck continues to be dominant, it's probably showtime for that, or at least re-adding Red Guardian. After this bit, please stay here. We're going to talk about expert opinions. I asked a bunch of top players about their opinions of both Marvel Boy and, Kate Bishop. And after that, we're going to look at our last deck of the day, the return of Thanos using Marvel Boy. All right, so one last look at this. Again, I keep staring. I'm like, there has to be a high series card. I'm just blind, and there's a high series card. This deck is stupidly cheap and stupidly powerful. It's not even that Series 3 heavy, to be honest. Really cool deck. All right, top player thoughts of Kate Bishop. Tanjo, the #1 player in 2 months ago, and then the #1 player of the second season, says Hawkeye Kate Bishop is OP. And when asked to extrapolate, Tanjo just said OP. Good. Jimmy Dickens, top ladder player, awesome deck brewer, says living up to expectations, premier 2-drop, incredibly versatile. Yeah, if premier 2-drop, this is one of the 3 2-drops that you're just gonna drop into decks just because, along with Jeff and White Widow. Lambie, the GOAT, says amazing, flexible, Nico-esque, fits in many decks. Great. Gnome, top 40 player, bounce player, genuinely great player and person. Very good. Acid Arrow is insane. Yep, Acid Arrow is insane. No Best Bounce Guy says okay and bounce, not a must-have. More Zoo or thena card. No Best Bounce Guy plays, you guessed it, bounce without best, and has hit #1 on the Infinite Leaderboard, often sits near the top players in the world. Not great in bounce, according to No Best Bounce Guy. More of a Zoo or thena card. Interesting. Ika says super solid curve, filler, and top 5 2-drop. As a bonus, you get one of the best ones, and in playing her, Acid Arrow. Geo, former #1 player in January, winner of numerous tournaments, one of the best players in the world. Super solid when you can't fit ones, and good in bounce. So there's a disagreement between No Best Bounce Guy and Geo in terms of how good this is in bounce. It's worth knowing. I will look into that and get back to you when I give you my recommendation tomorrow. And Comey says good, especially Acid Arrow is too strong. Bounce and Zoo have many synergies with this card. Interesting. So Comey also seems to like this in bounce. Again, this is the top players' opinions. Basically, everyone says this is worth buying. Where it is being played is debated by some top players, but almost everyone says this is worth buying. Remember that tomorrow in my video, I will be giving you my recommendation as of buying this or not buying this. And the reason I do that tomorrow is because in tomorrow's video, you can get gold. Very likely this is in weekend missions. And if you buy it by tomorrow, you can get gold from that weekend mission, which you can turn into greater progression value. All right, Marvel Boy, top player thoughts. Geo says, OP in a boring bot deck, which is my favorite comment. I will shut this video down. The best. OP in a boring bot deck. Geo thinks Zoo is incredibly boring. Honestly, so do I. I played it a bunch yesterday. Great frickin' win rate. I was too bored to continue my climb with it. Actually, I want to say that before we go forward. If you're having fun climbing with Zoo, please enjoy yourself. But it is worth knowing that if you're seeing any number of bots and Zoo do not mix, it is very hard to get bots to stay if you're playing a Zoo deck. The bots need to be when you snap, and just snap as soon as you realize it's a bot. Check the profile. There's now a profile when you click their name, and if they have a weird rank or a base avatar or a weird title that you've never seen, odds are it's a bot. So you can snap right away. Now, as you wait for those bots, I'm gonna have to do this in its own section tomorrow, so I'm sorry you're gonna hear this twice. But as you snap, the bot is going to stay. Since the game hasn't started, it's going to run at the end of turn 5 if it's not ahead. So you need to figure out how to make it ahead on turn 5. That's really hard with Zoo, which sort of needs to curve out and play things on curve. So fair warning, the deck I hit Infinite with, I definitely, 3 of the ranks from 93 to 100, 3 or 4 of the ranks, were just play for a bit, go up a little bit, bot 8. Play for a little bit, go up a little bit, bot 8. So once you learn to recognize that, it's much easier to climb. Comey says this sets up a snap opportunity with Squirrel Girl. I don't think that's actually necessarily true this week. Comey is the current Marvel Snap World Champion, by the way. Another Italian player. Sets up a snap opportunity with Squirrel Girl. I don't know if that's true this week with Killmonger in the meta. If Killmonger's not in the meta, I think that is true. There's 12 power in Marvel Boy's power. If Squirrel Girl is out, if you play Marvel Boy on 3, Squirrel Girl on 1 or 2. Plus the 2 from Marvel Boy makes it 14. Plus the 4 from Squirrel Girl makes it 18. It's an 18 power 4 card. It's insane. It's just insane. It's extremely strong. If you are fairly confident by turn 3 of what your opponent's playing, it is a snap condition. W says super strong but not OP. Refreshing. Good. Spiro, phenomenal player, says very good. Gnome says, I don't know if it's an upgrade since it pulls you from Shadow King. I think that's interesting. Gnome is the last person, I think, with the reserves. I think everyone else is sort of in love with the extra power. But Shadow King was one of the 2 or 3 best cards in Zoo decks recently, to the point where a lot of them were cutting Gilgamesh. You can't run Marvel Boy and Shadow King together, and that's especially with the loot change. So maybe that's not better in the long run. It's hard to know. Ava Zord says, I don't like Zoo decks. I love these answers. I probably shouldn't have included Ava's after I had Geos, but it made me laugh. Sorry. Jimmy Dickens once more says, best and damn good in Zoo, elevates the archetype. Yeah, okay. Derek, Havoc OP, number 2 player last season, said solid and feels good, but not splashable. And Dai Cavallo says, good in Thanos and Zoo, only worth it if you like those. Again, that is experts' opinion. I will spend part of tomorrow looking at stats, and in tomorrow's video, I will give you a recommendation for these cards. Cool? Stream Team! Alright, the Stream Team is a bunch of people who play these decks for me on Twitch, so that you can get some gameplay if that's something you want. Please check out, it is Thursday, the Great Parry Manilow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Gaming with Flash X later on today will have a video with yesterday's decks in it, so do check that out. I think you'll like it. These are some phenomenal players and great people. Go show them some love. We're all about community. All right, our final deck is Ika's Titan. Ika is one of the best deck builders ever in the game. His most famous creation was the when Leech was a 4 and Blink was a 5. There was that deck that was doing claw stuff with Leech and Blink. It ran Quake and stuff. That is an Ika brew. So that is Ika's most famous deck ever. He's made numerous amazing decks. It's always worth paying attention when Ika releases a public deck. Thanos, I think right now this is more fun tier, but it does have some serious potential. I love the addition of Nico, but fair warning, friends and fans, this is the opposite of that last deck. Thanos decks are often super freaking expensive. This is no exception. Scar, Season Pass, but Series 5, Thanos Series 5, Mockingbird Series 5, Cull Series 5, Kyra Series 5, Marvel Boy Series 5, Hawkeye Season Pass, Nico Series 5. Every Thanos deck, it feels like, is like 7 or 8 Series 5 cards. This is no exception. Sorry. All right. You can find Ika at twitch.tv/Ika_MTS. He hasn't streamed in a few days. He is moving, so have a safe move, Ika. But go check him out. Give him a follow, and you'll when he's on watch, you won't be sad. Super great person. If you're interested in hearing more of Ika's thoughts, not last week, but the week before, Ika was on the podcast with Binks at the same time, and we had a wonderful conversation about deck building. So if you want to know how to deck build in Marvel Snap, that's a great video. Kate is huge for Lockjaw with this deck. Marvel Boy gives this play when you draw air, because there's games where you'll just draw 1s and be sad. Marvel Boy says, damn, my 1s get pretty big now. Nico can be Jeff or Nightcrawler. Kara can be Armor, but that is so much worse. And Cull Obsidian can be Crossbones, but again, way worse. If you miss Thanos, this is worth playing, but it's not like a must-play deck. All right, turn 1, Draw Stone. Turn 2, Mind Stone. Up Nico is fine if you've got something good to do with it. Something good to do with it means turn card into Demon, or turn card into Demon, destroy to draw 2, or make a copy if it's like Mind Stone. Outside of that, it's probably not worth it. All right, turn 2, Mind Stone is generally speaking still the play, and Snap condition. The only thing you'll do over that is Psylocke over Lockjaw, and Kate if all bigs. You'd rather play Draw Stones, but Kate is really good at giving you a curve. For turn 3, I'd generally rather do turn 2 stuff. I'd even play Psylocke if I drew it into a Lockjaw, because then you can Lockjaw into 1. If you could Lockjaw on this turn, you still Lockjaw. Kara's perfectly fine, but not a requirement. Turn 4, Lockjaw, Color Mockingbird, depending on what you're doing. Turn 5, Dino, or cards into Lockjaw, or you can Mockingbird. Sometimes you can do cards into Lockjaw and Mockingbird, which is pretty nice. And then turn 6 is Scar and Shang, or stuff into Lockjaw. That's how you win. Really, really powerful, really cool. It's like a mix between Zoo and Idiots. It's very cool. Give this list a try. It's not the best list in the game, but it is very fun and very powerful. Cool. Questions of the day, and then we're out of here. Question 1. Skippy G asks if a lot of credits are being unclaimed with the new system, where the credits refresh 3 times a day, and what my thoughts are on the new system. Yep, I think a lot of people are losing credits. I know people that are losing credits. There's some people for who it's in the middle of the night, but if it's 1 refreshes in the middle of the night, you're still getting the exact same amount of credits you were before. They seem to want people to play more. They don't seem to care, especially. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to advertise to new players, but there's no way to there's no quick catch-up mechanics. There's no returning player mechanics. They want the players they have to play more Marvel Snap. Alliances tell us that. That's why it's so many bounties to do things. And in addition to alliances doing that, this new credit system tells us that. I have no problem with them trying to get us to spend more time in the game. So many of their systems have been for so long dedicated to getting us to spend more money. If they want to spend some time giving us free stuff and saying, if you invest time, you can have free stuff. If you don't want to invest time, spend. I think that's fair. Ultimately, I'm fine. That Nick asks who is cuter, Baby Jeff or Chibi Orca. Baby Jeff is cuter, but he also has the cutest card in Marvel Snap. And the right answer is Goose. Goose is adorable. My cat, who is sleeping right over there, is orange, and orange boys are the best. All right. Heretix Lee says, what would a second interbacked local system for Snap look like? What do we need? What prizes? They'd have to so first there'd need to be more like LAN stores, right? Like you can't do it at LGS's really. I mean, you could, but like the LGS isn't really moving products, so why the hell do they care? LGS is local gaming store, friends. But so I don't really see why people would do that. There's a place in Brooklyn called Brookland that does it because they're a LAN bar and they can charge entry and so on. That's a different thing, and those I don't think are widespread. So the first thing that we need are locations. I think that's honestly all that's really in the way. I think this would work really great if it weren't for the complete lack of places that seem at all willing to do it. As far as prizes go, you just give away a couple of like mystery variants. I don't think people would really care. If you go to your local tournament, you compete, you can get a premium mystery variant if you finish it first. I think that's perfectly fine. I think leagues do a decent job of making this up, and alliances are their way to say, look, we're social. And leagues are the way to say, look, Friday Night Magic. So I don't expect it to happen. I wish it would happen. I would love it to happen. But my concern is largely that there's not really an incentive for stores to do it. So what we need are locations. 7Suji7 asks if I follow the Olympics. Nope. All right, patreon.com/snapjudgments is where you can check us out. Free to join $1 tier that carries with it entrance into all tournaments and a deck archive from all of the decks from these videos for the past several weeks. If you want to just go through them and get a whole bunch of great decks, you can do so there. $5 tier is early access to videos and basically a bunch of extra access. And then $10 is an exclusive video once a week, along with your name shouted out at the end of the video. And again, some other stuff, exclusive giveaways and stuff. If you're interested in any of that, please check it out. I'd like to say thank you to the OG AG Abigail Gieslin, the great Manager Burnout. Hey, Burnout, questions rule and you rule. Cables, who's got a week off, and I've really been enjoying his company. Matt H, number 1. There are 2. Irregardless is a word. David G. Wingfield, DG. Direwolf. Hey, Direwolf, welcome back. LAB, who's always kind. The great FaThorNewman, who you can check out on YouTube or Twitch. I hope work is going well, Newman. Good Dog Gamer, who's doing great, hanging out, having a great time in our alliance. Deusvelt, I got your name right, hopefully. Am I saying that at all right? Deuce, let me know. Ink, the Graphite Fan. I am Frostman, who is in fact Frostman. J. Navarit, hello Jay. Corwin, one of our newer friends. Gotta get to know you better, Corwin. Primed Ryan of Primed Mind fame, wonderful app. King of Questions, Kertix Lee. Koirei, coming all the way from Japan. The Great Pyrophoros, one of our alliance leaders, the Goat Seeker. Denman Falcon, go check him out over on. Go check him out on YouTube. Quid Pro Joe, another of our alliance leaders. Doc D, king of new Marvel Snap card content, who was an awesome helping me out this week. Fat Nick, another of alliance leaders. Ginger Prime, hey Ginge. Next up as Alliance Leader, Ratco, who edited that video on the Marvel Snap YouTube. Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, X-Force V, and Skippy G. We just got a Skippy G question. Winner of Snatch Justice League Season 1, sponsor of Season 3, Tommy Nyquist, the King of Bros, bro. Black Dahlia, one of our mods on the Discord. The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, hello Jess. Ryan Wood, hey Woody. Kev Cihoda, Luna Chris, our newest member, currently in my lines, Quantum Quinn. John Q, 8th Sage, who won a season pass from us, pretty cool. Mod Supreme Models, Darth Tater, Remus Atala, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., J.D. McDonaldinho, who's in the podcast this week, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, another Matt H., told you there were two, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Q, Laris, who I got a DM from that I just saw right before I started recording, The Mr. Craig Starry, Seamus, Jonesy, Two Ties, my alliance leader currently, the great Lauren Whatevs, referenced earlier, Valkyrie fan, the Pirate King Tuccrr, who you must check out on Twitch. He is so freaking great. You will love Tuccrr. Looks just like Drew McIntyre, too, if you know who that is. The Homie Min. And, of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. Go check out the Marvel Snap YouTube for me. Pretty please. I'd really appreciate it. See you tomorrow for another Snap Take. Peace.